Hey, what's up, y'all? I've decided to chronicle a little situation that I've encountered. I'm just going to tell you what happened. I think I ended up contracting strep throat from a recent cruise. Um, I didn't think I had strep throat. I had a sore throat about 4 or 5 days afterwards, and then about 4 or 5 days after that, I broke out in a rash. About 10 years ago, this happened. And for anybody watching this, strep is a known trigger for psoriasis. And I've had psoriasis most of my life. And about 10 years ago, I got strep and had just the worst rash of my life afterwards. I mean, I was depressed beyond depressed. It took me maybe 4 months to get over it. And that's with methotrexate, light treatment, trips to the beach, skin biopsies, several trips to the doctor, diets, just I mean anything you can think of. I mean it was rough, man. And you kind of feel helpless because you don't really know, like, is this ever going to clear up? Doctors really can't do a lot for you. They want to put you on biological drugs, which are pretty scary. So anyway, I just wanted to show you. Let me show you the rash in case you have strep and you're kind of going through this. Maybe you can get an idea of what it looks like. I mean, it's pretty much like that from head to toe. It spreads everywhere, back. I just wanted to give you an idea of kind of what it looks like. So maybe you can say, because you're going to probably go to the doctor and the doctor's probably going to tell you that you got a strep rash and it'll go away. They give you an antibiotic and it'll go away in a couple of weeks, and then it doesn't go away. And you're like, hey, what's going on? Or they'll tell you, because that's what happened to me. What happened to me the first time was I got strep. I knew I had strep, went to the doctor, got an antibiotic, amoxicillin. About 4 days after I got on that amoxicillin, I broke out in this terrible rash, itchy, just miserable. And I went back to the doctor. They said, oh, you got an amoxicillin rash, which is a common side effect of, not a common, but it's a side effect of amoxicillin. You can break out an amoxicillin rash if you're allergic to it or have a reaction to it. And so I was like, oh, and so just the whole time I thought I had this amoxicillin rash that just wouldn't go away. Well, then I started going back to the doctor. I went to a dermatologist. The dermatologist said, no, that's psoriasis. We need to put you on Enbrel or Humira, which are biological drugs that work systemically. I ended up going on methotrexate, which was pretty rough too. They call that chemo in a pill. You do have to do blood work once or twice a week. It's so hard on your liver. Anyway, just a really, really rough time. And I never had known anybody who had experienced anything like that before. I looked on the internet for all kinds of information, couldn't really find a whole lot. The doctors didn't really know. I don't know how common it is. Maybe it's not that common. Now, dermatologists are somewhat familiar with it, but your primary care doctor probably isn't going to be super familiar with it. And he doesn't deal with psoriasis typically, or he or she, whoever your doctor is. So anyway, I just thought I'd chronicle this journey. I mean, it's going to be a rough couple of months. I'm on day 2. Like I said, I came off a cruise, sore throat. 4 or 5 days later, came out of the hot shower and had a rash. Thought it was just a heat rash, and it just spread. And I'm on day 2 or 3 now, and it probably doesn't look super bad like in the camera, but it's worse than it looks. I wouldn't say that it's. I mean, I hope that it's as bad as it gets, but when I had it last time, I was probably about 90% covered, and it feels like poison ivy would be a good way to feel. So just imagine having poison ivy or about 80-90% of your body for months and not knowing when it's going to clear up. And not only to mention just the way it looks. So it's wintertime. It's typically strep goes around in wintertime. So, sun is probably the best thing for this. It's not exactly sunny out right now where I live. It's 40 degrees or whatever. It's wintertime. So anyway, I thought I'd chronicle this journey for people who are looking for information about guttate psoriasis. And that's what they call it, guttate psoriasis, which is triggered by a strep outbreak. And, hopefully, if anybody's out there who's just feeling, alone and depressed or helpless or whatever, they can kind of follow this journey along. I'll try to make a video every day, kind of show, my progress, what I've been up to, what I've been doing. My plan so far is to, I'm on an antibiotic right now. So this time it kind of worked opposite. So I started off with the sore throat, but I didn't think it was strep. And then the rash came out, and now I'm on the antibiotic. Whereas last time I had the sore throat, I knew it was strep, antibiotic, then the rash. So it doesn't look like it was the amoxicillin rash last time. I mean, I'm hoping maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this is just a strep rash and it goes away in 2 to 7 days or whatever they say. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see. We can hope. But anyway, so anybody who wants to follow along in the future who gets strep and has this terrible rash and they're stuck in the house miserable and depressed and they're looking for information on the internet to try to find out, like, hey, how long does this last? What did you do? You know, all the questions that anybody would ask, all the questions that I looked for whenever I had this. Now, didn't look for it as much this time because I've already been through it. But I remember when I went through it the first time, man, it was tough. And if you're going through it right now, you know what I'm talking about. It's not a good time. So anyway, we're gonna follow along. Hopefully follow along, and I'll just let you know how this journey goes. So I'm gonna end it right here. Y'all stay tuned, and God bless.